and we were doing this part here of 256 minus the answer for 64 times 8. What do you get? Hello?
512.
512 minus 12. You work out that. I know this one is going to give us a negative function, a negative answer, but remember it is just an equation that I imagined. It is just an equation that I imagined. So you work out this and you get the answer. That one is going to be now your maximum total revenue, the answer you get here. But this one is just the answer is not supposed to be negative because revenue cannot be negative. Are we together?
Yeah.
This was just for the demonstration. That before we go to those questions, I will I remind you 2 or 3 basic things that you need to carry from this discussion here. Number one is that the profit is normally given by total revenue minus total cost. That is the starting point. That the profit function is given by total revenue minus total cost. Then from there, at maximum profit, though I'm going to show you just a minute. At the maximum profit, change in profit over change in quantity should be equal to 0. Should be equal to 0. So those 2 points are very, very important for you to understand as we move to our discussion on the questions that you have. Okay. I want you to refer now to the questions that you have. Question 1. It says that the total revenue of a farm is given by the function TR is equals to 10Q squared minus 200Q. So this is our question 1, whereby you are told that total revenue is given by 10Q squared minus 200Q. So the question here talks about determine the level of output Q that will maximize total revenue. That is what we have just discussed. You come here and you say, tell the examiner that you know that at maximum total revenue, just a minute, at maximum total revenue, change in total revenue, I don't know why my, just a minute. Change in TR over DQ, I don't know why my pad is writing badly, should be equal to 0. Can you give me the equation for change in TR over change in Q?
20Q.
20Q.
Minus 200.
Minus
200.
This is what you need to equate with what? See on your change in TR over change in Q is that, you equate it with what? 0, yeah?
0.
Yes, 20Q therefore. 20Q therefore is going to be equal to what?
200 over 20.
Is equals to 200. So what would be Q?
10.
Q will be equal to 10. And is that what the question was asking? Determine the level of output that will maximize the total revenue. By so doing, you just get your 3 marks. Your Q is 10 units. If the organization produces only 10 units, the revenue will be maximum. Then the question can also be determine the total revenue. If you are told to determine the total revenue, then it means that your TR would be equal to, you come to the total revenue function and replace Q with what? 10. So it is going to be equal to 10 into 10 squared, because Q is 10. So instead of Q squared, you just put 10 squared minus 200 times 10, like that. So you are...
Please come again on the question they would ask that would need us now to substitute.
If the question talks about determine the total revenue, at the maximum total revenue, actually determine the maximum total revenue. Remember what we have done here is to determine the number of units that will make the total revenue to be maximum. These are simply units, 10 units. Are we together? In this case, if we want to know now the maximum total revenue, we go to the equation of total revenue and replace the Q that we have there with 10. Are we together now? So whenever we have...
We replace the Q with the units that we have gotten.
Yes, remember Q is the number of units.
Yeah.
Q is normally the number of units. So if we produce 10 units and we get the revenue to be maximum, then that maximum total revenue will be obtained by replacing Q on the total revenue function. So instead of 10Q squared, now we are going to have 10 times 10 squared minus 200 times 10. This one would be equal to what? 10 times 100, which is 1,000, minus this one actually is giving us a negative.
Negative.
Actually is giving you what? Negative 1,000. But if it is total revenue, you just ignore. You just ignore the negative sign. You just ignore the negative sign. Higher. That one is sorted. We go to question 2. Question 2 talks about what? The question talks about in a certain manufacturing company, the total cost of production is given by the following function. The total cost of production is given by the following function. So you are given the total cost, which we normally denote by TC, is equals to negative 3Q squared plus 12Q minus 2. And then you are told where TC is the total cost and Q is the quantity produced in units. And then we are given here the selling price. We are given the selling price. The price of 1 unit is what? 5 bob.
5 shillings.
5 shillings. So each and every unit we sell is 5 shillings. Now, the question here requires you, number 1, to determine the total revenue. So I want to come here and say total revenue is normally given by quantity. The quantity that you sell times the price. I think that is the case. If you want to know the total revenue you are going to receive in a business, it is simply given by the quantity, which are the units that you sell, times the price of each unit. That one will give you the total revenue. It will give you the total income that you are going to generate. So in this case, we have been told that the Q, or the units, are actually represented by Q. And the selling price is what? 5. So our total revenue will be given by the quantity, which is Q, times the price, which is 5. So our total revenue, in short, will be equal to what? 5 times Q is? It is
5Q.
5Q. And that is what you need to do for you to get that 1 mark. That one you need to know, it is quantity times price. So if the quantity is Q and the price is 5, so total revenue is going to be 5 times Q, which is 5Q. Higher. Part 2, you are asked to determine the profit function. Remember, we said profit is normally denoted by what? Pi. And we said pi is normally given by, you remember what we said? Total revenue minus total cost. Profit is total revenue minus total cost. We have the equation for total cost here. We have the equation for total revenue. Therefore, pi, it is going to be simply given by total revenues, we have said is 5Q.
Yeah.
Minus total cost we were given. Remember, total cost, you put it into bracket. So total cost is negative 3Q squared plus 12Q minus 2. So I want us to work out that so that we see what we are going to get. So this one is going to be 5Q. This negative will affect the signs that we have inside the bracket. But I want you to note, when you are subtracting total revenue minus total cost, the equation for total cost must always be in bracket. So if we just put in a minus and we don't put in the bracket, it will indicate that this minus is only minusing 3Q squared. We put it into bracket so that this minus is minusing everything. So negative and negative will be what? Plus.
Positive.
3Q squared. Negative and this positive will be minus 12Q. Negative and this negative will be positive 2.
Positive.
Then now, remember, we are looking for the equation for the profit. So in this case, what is common there? We have got 5Q, we have negative 12Q. Remember, by the fact that they are the same power, they are the same. So this is the same as 5Q minus 12Q. It will be negative what?
Negative 7Q.
Negative 7Q. There is no any other Q squared. There is no 2. So it is going to be plus 3Q squared plus 2. Just like that. This and this, they are common. We subtract them. This, there is no partner. It remains. This one, there is no partner. It remains. And that is your equation for what? For profit. Is that what the question was asking?
The profit function, yes.
Yes, this is the profit function. What about if the question was saying, determine the number of units that will maximize the profit? If
we substitute.
No. We have not.
We differentiate it now.
We differentiate it first. We get the pi over dq. The pi over dq. Let me go up a bit. And what is going to be our d pi over dq? This is negative 7q. If we differentiate it, is going to remain with what? Just negative?
Negative 7 plus 6q.
6q. Since that is the case, and then we say this at that maximum point, -7 plus 6q should be equal to what? 0, yeah? So
0.
6q, sorry, 6q should be equal to what? 7. So q would be equal to 7/6. So that is the case. You end that case there. So you need to know always, if you are told to determine the equation of the profit, remember it is given by total revenue minus total cost. And what that simply means, it is the equation of total revenue, you minus the equation of total cost, and that is the end of the business. I want us to see the third question. The third question. It reads that a firm or an organization, has analyzed the operating conditions and has developed the following functions. One of the functions that has been developed is the function for the total revenue. And we are told the total revenue for that firm is given by 400Q plus 4Q squared. What about the total cost? The total cost is given by, are you there? Amamuku copy easy.
Q to power 2
plus
10Q plus 30
plus that. Now, what does the first question ask?
A minute, Mwarim.
Yes.
TR is equal to 400Q minus 4Q squared, not plus 4Q squared.
Oh, thank you. True. Yes, that one is a minus. And we are now told Loman 1, where Q is the number of units sold. Then Loman 1, now you are told you determine the level of output Q that the firm should sell in order to maximize profit. So, because this question is talking about an issue of maximizing profit, then we can only answer that question, first of all, if we have the profit function. So that question can only be answered if we have the profit function with us. And we know the profit, as usual, is given by total revenue minus total cost. Total revenue minus total cost. In this case, the total revenue is given as 400Q minus 4Q squared minus, this is total revenue, minus into bracket the equation for total cost, which is Q squared plus 10Q plus 30. Like that. So we need to open the bracket carefully, this part. And remember, I've said here, always total cost, let it be in bracket. So this one will give us what? 400Q minus
Q squared
4Q squared.
4Q squared
This minus
Q squared.
this negative and this positive will be minus
minus 10Q
10Q. This negative
minus
will change
30.
this one to be minus that. So always remember that this negative, it is going to change the signs inside the bracket. From there now, we can pick the right terms. 400Q is a like term with negative 10Q. So 400Q minus 10Q will give us what?
360Q.
390.
390.
390.
390Q.
390Q. What about Q squared and Q squared? Remember, we have negative 4Q, negative 1Q. Negative 4Q, negative 1Q, says only negative 5Q.
Yes.
Negative 5Q squared.
Q
Squared. And then we say minus what? Minus
minus 10
minus
minus
that.
30.
That is the equation for profit. The total revenue question minus the total cost equation will give you the profit equation. After having that, we are not yet done. We are not yet done. After getting the profit function, we need to know the level of output. The level of output is the same as the number of units that the firm should produce and sell in order to maximize the profit. At that maximum, we know d pi, change in pi over change in Q,
Change in Q.
should give us what? 0.
0.
In this case, change in pi, remember this is the pi equation. Change in pi over change in Q, so itakuwa ni 390.
390 minus 10Q.
Minus 10Q.
10Q.
This one should be equal to what? 0.
0.
Sindio? So 390, sorry, 390, let me put it upwards,
Equals to 10Q.
is equals to 10Q.
Yeah.
So what is Q?
39.
So divided by 10, divided by 10. So Q will be what? 39.
39.
Units, because Q is in units. And we have now answered the first Roman. So the question here.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
I'm seeing the 390 had a Q from the profit function. Now 390.
This one,
Yes.
You know we have
now coming down. Okay. Yes.
You know we have differentiated this function so that we can get the pi over dq. And when we differentiate 390q, see the q will disappear. And this one, 5q squared, this power will multiply this one to be 10q. And then this one, when it is differentiated, it disappears because it is a constant.
It disappears, yes.
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 So that is where q disappeared from. Yes.
So thank you.
Okay, Karibu. So always, after getting the profit function, you differentiate the profit, and then the resulting equation, you equate it to 0, and then it will give you the units that will maximize that profit. That Roman 1 is now sorted. The next question, the question was asking is for you to determine the price that maximize profit. Determine the price that maximize profit. I want to be clear here. Price, remember, it is the revenue of one unit. This is simply the revenue of a unit. It is a revenue of one unit. In simple terms, if I'm selling shoes, pair of shoes, the revenue I'm going to realize by selling one pair of shoes, the revenue I'm going to realize by selling one pair of shoe is actually the same as the price of that shoe. If I sell one shoe is the same, the revenue I'm going to generate is equivalent to the price of those shoes. Ama sivyo?
Come again.
Let me come up with a simpler word. If I'm selling something, I have maybe a kiosk. I'm selling the loaves of bread, And in that case, the price is 50 shillings for maybe 400 grams. So that 50 shillings, it is the same as the revenue for one unit. The revenue for one unit is equivalent to the price. The revenue for one unit, if I sell only one loaf, my revenue will be 50 shillings. And therefore, my price is also 50 shillings. So the 50 shillings that I've generated as revenue is the same as the price. That is when I'm only selling one item. So the revenue for one item is the same as the price for those items. Is it okay up to that point? Or
No.
no?
You can repeat it again, please.
Let me repeat. I'll repeat until you understand. I'm saying this. You have a shop. You sell loaves of bread.
Yes.
In that one day, or in one certain day, you only sold one loaf of bread, and your selling price is 50 shillings. You normally sell a loaf at 50 shillings. In a particular day, you only sold one loaf. How much revenue did you realize that day?
50 bob.
50 bob. Sindio? Because you sold only one loaf, and that one loaf is sold at 50 shillings. That is the point where I'm saying the revenue that you are going to realize from one item or one unit, that revenue is the same as the price of those or that one unit. The revenue for one unit is the same as the price for those or that particular unit. When it is only one, that is when I want to say this. If we are given the total revenue function, you know the total revenue function, just from the word total, it is the revenue for all the items that were sold. Sindio?
Yes.
It is the revenue that was realized from all the items that were sold. In this case, all the items that were sold, they are, I'm being warned again, all the items that were sold, they are represented by what? Q.
Q.
CQ, it is the number of units that were sold. This one is for all of them, all the items. And the total revenue, it is the revenue for all. Let me put some figures. Let me put some figures so that now it can be easier for you to understand. If in a particular day, my total revenue was 1,000, my total revenue or the revenue that I realized that day was 1,000 shillings. And these 1,000 shillings, they were realized after selling, let's say 100 units. I sold 100 units, that is Q, and then my total revenue amounted to 1,000. So my question here, what is the price of one item? I sold 100 units. I sold 100 units to get 1,000 shillings. What was the selling price of one item?
10 shillings.
So the selling price, yes, you are correct. The selling price, it is summary given by the total revenue minus the units. Are we together? Divided by the units. Divided by the units, not minus. Huh? The total revenue divided by the units. And actually in this case, it is going to be given by 1,000 shillings divided by 100 units. Sindio? That's where we are getting 10 from. Eh? So the price of one item is 10 bob. 10 times 100 will give us what? 1,000. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one was illustration. Now we go now to the real thing. And if you are able to understand that, then when I put the figures here, you need to understand where they're coming from. Eh? So when I say that the selling price, or simply the price, the price is normally given by the total revenue minus the quantity. Sorry, divided by the quantity.
So
divide by quantity. Eh? Sawa. Total revenue divided by quantity. So in this question, we are asked the price that will maximize the profit. You know, in calculus, you cannot answer the question of price if you don't have the equation for price. Eh? The question for price can only be answered once you have the equation or the function for that particular price. In this case, so we are given the total revenue function. Eh? We are given the TR as what?
400.
Mwalimu, kwa nini ulini log out?
Where?
Time ilisha.
Time
Time ilisha.
Actually, I'm using my personal account. Eh? So it actually,
Ndio unani log out.
even this one, it is going
How to log you out?
it is going to log out everybody, even me. Eh? So the moment it logs you out, you log in immediately. Yeah? It logs out after 40 minutes. Is going to log out. As all of us, actually, I also need to log in. Eh? So don't be worried.
It's a third session.
Yes. But next week
We have increased.
Sorry.
400 Q mwalimu.
Minus 4.
Minus 4Q squared.
Where are you getting 400 from?
We are in question 3. Eh?
The function.
Okay.
Total revenue. Eh?
Lol.
Are you there? Question 3 of the document that I shared. Eh? The total
Some of us did not see that document.
It was shared in the group. You can check in the group.
Okay, let's continue then. We shall see it later.
Yes. So 400Q minus 4Q squared. Eh? See, that is our total revenue. And then we are supposed to divide by what? Q. So the total revenue function just divided by Q. The equation that will come out from there, it is now the equation that stands for what? Price. That is what we have done here. Price is given by total revenue divided by Q. So the total revenue, the equation was provided, then you divide by Q. So remember, this Q divides everything. Eh? 400Q divided by Q will be what? See, Q and Q will cancel.
400.
So we are going to have 400 minus, what about 4Q squared divided by Q? Remember, Q squared is Q times Q. Eh?
Yes.
Q squared is the same as Q times Q. So Q times Q divided by Q, so one Q will cancel out. Eh? So what we are going to remain with is what? It is only 4Q. It was 4Q squared, but one Q will cancel with this Q. So we are going to have what? 4Q. And this is now the price function. I think I've been slow enough for you to understand. I've just taken you where we are getting this particular kind of expression. Price is, yes?
Why can't we just, can we substitute Q there with the 39 that we got?
Now, we are now going there. Eh? You know, the question was talking about what? The price that
maximize
the price that
the profit.
Oh, I don't know where
It wasn't asking for the function.
Yeah.
You know, I'm actually surprised. Eh?
You're on question 4.
It is actually.
Yeah, it's question 3.
It is right.
Question 3.
It is right.
Huh?
I'm right actually. Yeah. It is asking about the price that maximize what? Profit. It is not asking about actually, you see now Roman 3, where it is asking about what? The maximum profit.
Maximum profit.
The maximum profit is simple. The maximum profit. So we found the units.
Yeah.
There's somewhere we found the
so
unit.
number 2, when they ask for the price that maximizes the
we are
profit
not yet
given
done.
a
Eh?
function.
We are not yet done. Eh? We are not yet done. Eh? It was only that the question has been asked, so I have to revisit that and then I come back, we finish. That's all. So for the Loman 3, it is very simple. So we found the units that maximizes the profit here. Eh? So for Loman 3, the maximum profit, so we have our profit function here, which we determine. She's correct. It's because kindly we mute so that we avoid the background interference. So we have got our profit function. We shall go and where we have a Q, we substitute with what? 39. Eh? And whatever we are going to get is going to be our maximum profit. For Roman 3, that one is very direct. Q is 39, and that is the quantity that will maximize our profit. So we substitute that Q value in the profit function, and whatever we are going to get is the maximum profit, because these are the units that will maximize the profit. But for this case, Loman 2, somebody maybe to interpret for me what that statement means. Price that maximize profit. It is the same.
I think it means.
You think it means finish?
Yeah, I think it means.
Yes.
The price that will give the most profit.
It's actually
and
the price.
Remember that
the price that we shall charge, so that the profit will be maximum. Eh? Are we together?
Yes.
So for us to be able to answer the question, because it's talking about the price, so our responsibility number 1 is to determine the equation of the price. Are we together? Once we have determined the equation of the price, we know the maximum profit is normally going to be arrived when Q is what? 30. So it will report Q is going to be 39. Eh? This 39 now, you substitute in the profit function, so that now you can get the price figure, which will give us maximum what? Profit. That's why I was saying